All right, and welcome back to DV Rivals Summer 2023. This will be our fourth match of the day, and we have, once again, returning members, Habibi Hunters versus Don't Wanna Gloat. And once again, we have Aiden as our host caster.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, and then in this game, once again, we have Habibi Hunters on the blue side. We saw them in the previous game. Their top laner is Fresvelg, jungle, Nore, mid lane, Allura, and then bot lane, Lyrax and Captain Zero LP. And then they are facing off Don't Wanna Gloat. We saw them in the second game of the day. In this case, we have top lane Big Boy Tonio, Rixie as the jungler, Reefer World as the mid laner, and then Interpede and Potential 5 as the bot lane.
Yeah, I think with both of these teams coming off of a loss here, we'll have to see if whose mental stays stronger and is able to move forward into remove that tilt and move forward into the next game successfully. I think we have a lot of exciting matchups coming up here. I'm particularly excited to see this bot lane matchup, Potential 5 and Interpede, and Lyrax and Captain Zero LP, two of the highest ranked bot lanes in this tournament. I think almost all of them have been GM, and you have like very very good players, and we'll see if either of those bot lanes can get an edge in this particular matchup.
Yeah, we saw both of the bot lanes separating from the same health condition called Ivern. Unfortunately, both of them not able to get some of their solo kills due to the champion. However, both of them, despite also ending up falling behind due to some conditions across the map, they've been showing up insanely well. We saw Chem0P and Lyrax, despite the level 1 where they were able to drop down 2 kills, were able to maintain CS, and end up fighting the enemy bot lane quite well. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm actually, one thing that I'm excited for is to see the jungle matchup. Nore versus Rixie. I think both these players have very similar playstyles, just inside of being very selfless for the team. I used to have a coach that would say ways where basically there's two different styles of junglers. Either they just power farm and never gank, or they are very selfless and basically just go for some crazy gank paths. Yeah, what
yeah.
about you, Aiden?
I think I'm also interested to see what happens up here in the top lane. We have Cresswell versus Big Boy Tonio, two players who both came off the back of losing their respective lanes, but I think both very good players, and we could see one of them, especially with Big Boy Tonio now having the opportunity to claim a counter pick for himself. He could be a big factor in this one.
Yeah, and as we're jumping into the draft, I also just can't go without saying we have Allura versus Griefy World. This is going to be a hype matchup as well. These are some of the two best mid laners in the tournament. So I really want to see how the jungle plays around the mid lane, whether they can work together in the 2v2 and try to impact the map, make that difference.
Yeah, for sure. And we have a Camille ban coming out instantly for the side of Habibi Hunters. I guess taking that away from Big Boy Tonio.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. We'll have to see what oh, instantly the LeBlanc ban coming in through. It seems like they don't want that to be in the hands of Allura.
Yeah, definitely one of the better LeBlanc players around, and keeping him off that champion. If you're not planning to pick it up yourself, like in the last one, pretty good choice here.
Yeah, we do still have some champions open. We saw Ivern being a big priority from a lot of teams. In this case, it looks like Habibi Hunters is banning the what's it called, the Xin Zhao from Rixie. I think he might be a threat in the early game, making sure that he can't have these massive ults towards the mid game and late game.
Yeah, I think one interesting dynamic here is the fact that both of these junglers are very much fans of that Rek'Sai pick. So I'm not sure if Rixie will be expecting them to go for a first pick Rek'Sai, but I think if the Rek'Sai does make it through the draft, Nori will pick that up immediately, and that could be not what Rixie wants, and I think he's probably looking to get that champion himself.
Yeah, the Nila once again being banned away from Lyrax. Uh, Seemingly, we haven't seen it quite yet from him, but he has been banned. It has been banned versus him, so possibly something inside of scrims. And B Hunters closing out their ban phase with the Emilio ban, making sure that the side of
Oh,
Don't Want to
well,
Gloat doesn't get that first pick.
and it will be that Rek'Sai ban I was talking about. So I guess both Norre and Rixie will have to find themselves on a different champion this game.
Hold up, the Ivern's open. We do we see the Affilio's first pick. Once again, this has been seen throughout the entire day. The champion is probably one of the most highest priority ADCs right now on this current patch after a lot of the champions like Zeri have been nerfed. So
I
let's see
will
what they respond with.
I will say I feel like the Aphelios has not been doing super well so far in this tournament. Maybe a champion that scales harder when it comes to the higher levels of play, and I think a champion like the Jin, which I think we're seeing for the first time here. I'm very curious to see how it does into this more contested Aphelios pick.
Yeah, Interpede loves this pick. He plays Jhin a lot. And we do see the Gragas also coming in through, possibly being a flex pick between the jungle and the top lane instead of Big Boy Tony and Rixie.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised though. I'm not sure how I feel about Gragas right now. He did just receive a nerf to his passive, and his sustain is a lot worse than lane. So I'm surprised to see him getting this much priority. But I guess there is still the flexibility of being a counter pick here, or excuse me, not a counter pick, a flexible pick here, being able to flex it to multiple lanes. It will be the Ari coming out for Allura, another champion that he's very good at and a champion that's very effective in the current meta. But this does afford potentially both solo laners for Don't Want to Gloat getting counter picks in their respective matchups. Oh, as it looks like someone might have locked something in wrong there. I did see an Udyr pick, but I don't think that's what they wanted to go for there. Oh, it looks like someone. Oh, so it looks like it will be the Ivern. Oh no.
Alright. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like they did not have all the champions they needed. So we will be heading over to a Draffle instead. Yeah, it looks like it was the Ivern. Somehow this champion has been going through the draft phase every single game. um, so yeah, it will be picked up once again.
Yeah, I must say I'm a bit disappointed to have to see this one happening again. We've seen it dominating both games, but giving Don't Want to Gloat the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe they do have something spicy to pick into it here.
Yeah, interestingly, I don't know. At least one thing we get as a viewer, potentially we get to see Daisy slap some people. It's always fun to see, especially if people are not acknowledging Daisy. Yeah, the draft will be started up. We'll have the same picks and bans that we saw before. So the last time we saw it was the Ari and the Ivern pick together. So one thing I want to mention, usually when you early blind Ari, that usually means you want to secure priority for your bot side or your top side. Basically, Ari is a very standalone champion where you can consistently get pushed into the other laner, just due to your Q being very effective at clearing the wave and also being a strong champion early on. So in this case, they're basically making sure that the Aphelios, either I'm guessing Lyrex is probably on that pick, feels comfortable and make sure that he's able to not get either dive from the enemy mid laner. And similarly, the Ivern we saw throughout the entire day offers a very nice supportive structure. But we do see the Yasuo actually coming in through. And this is one of those options you have that's only also decent into the Ari, but also you get to dive onto the Aphelios and the backline very easily.
Yeah, I think Grifu World also a very good Yasuo player himself, and I'm excited to see after we saw Hoptech smurf it on the Yasuo earlier when paired with the Gragas. We'll see if Grifu World can make some similar plays against his opponent.
Yeah, or Renekton being banned out makes sense considering if, for example, you get that cascade combo and then the Yasuo immediately gets her Renekton W'd, then that's just gonna feel bad. So I think it's a very smart ban from him, from them.
Yeah, we'll see. I'd imagine we're gonna see some bans to maybe Jin support or the jungle here for Habibi Hunters. Although I'm not sure if Rixie might opt to take this Gragas into the jungle. They do end up banning the Mordekaiser, so it looks like they're expecting this Gragas to be the jungler here.
Yeah, I imagine with the Yasuo lock-in, it probably is the jungler. But interestingly, both supports are still up. Neither team has actually opted to banning supports quite yet. The side of don't want to gloat do get their first option as a support, so maybe they take something priority, like the Nautilus offers another knock-up to the Yasuo, also decent with the Jhin.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
curious what they go for.
seeing the Silas ban here though, especially I don't think any of their ults so far are really worthy of having that Silas picked into. So that does give a sign that they want to go for some sort of a big ult in the ending phase of the draft, maybe something like a Maokai.
Yeah, I think actually we see it in response. Habibi Hunters bans out the Malphite. Usually Silas is banned in preparation for that, and given the fact that they do have the Yasuo Gragas comp ready, they were probably going to go for some huge 5v5 team comp with the Malphite supporting the team. But we do see the Karma coming in through. Karma often paired with Jhin just for the extra lane advantage. Karma lanes usually just get priority on their own, and they just poke out the enemy laner.
Yeah, and we'll see now Captain Zero LP getting his choice of a counter pick. Oh, will it be the GP coming out for Restfeld here? That would be quite the interesting blind pick. That champ was buffed this patch, and it will be the blind pick GP, so we'll have to see what Big Boy Tonio brings out in response here.
Yeah, I think he's just calling Big Boy Tony out in a way. If you have a response to this, if you pick a tank, usually it's quite bad into GP. GP just gets that free scaling with first strike. We also see the Tom Kench coming in through. I think it's also a very, very smart pick, considering the fact that you have to worry about the Gragas and the Yasuo towards the mid game, jumping onto the Aphelios. And so with that, Tom Kench is able to eat right before the combo goes off. So I think it's a very intelligent pick.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see because I know Lyrax does really like to play the Tom Kench, so he might have a bit of a role swap here with Captain Zero LP going for the Aphelios while Lyrax choosing that Tom Kench, and it will be the Scion coming in as the response to the GP. I think this should be a pretty favorable state for the GP, who will have a less dangerous lane that he can just start to stack up that gold and those silver serpents in.
Yeah, I agree. I think despite what I said, I think the Scion still does have a small lead early on. You can just W the Gangplank parlay. However, I think if he picks something more towards like the GP counter side, like an Akshan or anything like that, he's kind of just going over his comp. You need someone to basically engage into the front line of the side of Habibi Hunters. And I think Scion does that perfectly well, also offering knockups towards the Yasuo.
Yeah, for sure, and we'll see if he's able to get that push early in the game and sort of force in the GP. Sion does have a lot better wave clear in the early game, which could give prio for him to rotate down and maybe go for some 3-man plays with the Gragas and Yasuo engage. I think the bot lane matchup's also going to be really interesting to see because while Tom Kench is really good later on in sort of helping the Aphelios escape from the dive of the Gragas of the Yasuo. In the lane, I would give a pretty huge advantage to this Karma Jin lane.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the Jhin and the Karma should definitely be able to get the push in, and hopefully maybe they secure a few dragons off of that. Um, Fortunately for the side of Habibi Hunters, if they do get a gank off with the side of Ivern, usually it's pretty easy. For example, if you have a Gravitum, um, you can just either go for the Gravitum route into the Tom Kench W, into Ivern CC, or if the Ivern lands the Q, then you have a nice CC combo from there. So I'm kind of expecting Inner P to take cleanse here to make sure that combo doesn't go off.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd imagine he would.
yeah, besides that, I want to say the top lane matchup, as we mentioned before, the Scion should be able to have some early leads in the early game, but obviously GP as a champion, he doesn't mind going down a tiny bit. And then as he reaches towards the mid game with the first strike gold, the parlay gold as well, should be looking to get that crit items. And with the GP barrels being buffed this patch, you'll see him activate a bit sooner.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is definitely the best draft we've seen so far into the Ivern. I think that Don't Want to Gloat has some really clear goals and a game plan here. Playing around this Yasuo and this Jhin, dealing a lot of damage to a lot of these squishier members of Habibi Hunters. Unlike a lot of the previous drafts where it's been low damage and then the Ivern shields coming on top makes it basically impossible to kill the members. So I think this might be a lot closer of a game than we've been seeing with these past Ivern picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I've known Rixie has been a monster in his Gragas as well. So given the fact that they have Griefy World on the Yasuo as well, and these two components being their big carries on their team, I think like one critical thing is that they have access to the back line, which we didn't see in the previous game. Obviously, Lucian can't really dash forward into Daisy or anything like that. But in this case, both the Gragas Casket can just fly across Daisy and potentially land, separate Tom Kench from the team as well if he's not next to Lyrax. That's one thing you have to watch out for. Captain Zero LP basically has to hug him. So in this case, I think you're right. It is a lot more difficult on the side of Habibi Hunters. Or the Ivern is not as potent.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think we've seen Nore bring out the Ivern yet. I'm not sure. I think he might just be picking this champion as a meta pick. I'm not sure. Like when we saw, Babel's bringing out this champion, we know that he's a one trick, and so he knows the champion in and out and is able to take full advantage of the early clear. But with it on the side of Nore, I'm not sure if he's going to have quite the same knowledge of those early paths and be able to get quite as far ahead early game.
Yeah. And then one thing we haven't talked about quite yet is the mid lane matchup. So in this case, Ari is slightly favored, but once Yasuo gets around level 4, he's actually able to dash onto the Ari and contest that wave. Especially since you can Ari has to land the charm and the Q, but if both of those get blocked out by the wind wall, then basically she has nothing left in her kit. So I'm curious to see what happens there. Maybe Rixie can also pass towards mid. But yeah, given the conclusion of the draft, what would you say who has a lead?
I think this is definitely the hardest one to decide on the day. I think I might still give the edge to Habibi Hunters just with how strong the Ivern is, and they have some very consistent damage from the Aphelios as well as the sort of burst potential from champions like the Ari and the Gangplank. While there are some engage options for Don't Want to Gloat to answer this, I fear the Ivern shields might just reign supreme again.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think just on the side of Habibi Hunters, they have some more staple meta picks. We see Ivern right there. I also think GP into the Scion is a good matchup. And then Aphelios, relative to Jhin, I think just has a more impact towards the mid game. Fortunately for Interpede right here on the Jhin, normally he's getting countered by tanks. But you see on the side of Habibi Hunters, all of the targets are squishy. You can argue that Tom Kench might be a bit more durable, but overall, all the targets he's hitting are prime targets for that fourth shot.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we're right about to get into this game. So our last game of the day, we'll see if we can have this one be a banger.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, one thing I will point out, Interpede does opt in to take the Ghost instead. So he's playing a bit more on the edge of the knife. Basically, as we mentioned before, Aphelios with the Gravitum can potentially look for that play into Tom Kench W, and it's very hard to run away from that. But in this case, if he, for example, just dodges everything, then I guess he's alright. Dodges the Ivern Q, dodges the Tom Kench W.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see what these players decide to do early on into the game. I think the early pathing might be really impactful for Nore here. We do see pretty standard runes coming across the map for everyone else. I think no one's surprised to see much here. Rixie, going pretty aggressive with the electric cube, but and then there are definitely other options for the Gragas, but I do like he'll probably be rushing that. The name is eluding me.
Is it the Echoes of Helia or the?
No, the Gragas, the
Night
burst
Harvester.
one, Night Harvester. There we go. Yeah, he'll probably be rushing that, and with that extra damage, might be able to quickly kill people like Lyrax. And Captain Zero LP actually caught early game again, and that will be the first blood going over to Rixie. So well
Wow.
played, yeah, Captain Zero LP and Lyrax not having great starts to these games, continually getting picked off at the level 1.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. Also, Rixie getting the kill possibly means he's able to impact that lane. If he gets another few kills, then he's actually able to possibly one-shot some of these carries in the back line. But yeah, probably would have been better to get it on a carry, but honestly, you'll just take that regardless. A free kill is a free kill.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this mid lane matchup between the Ahri and the Yasuo very volatile. So if you can get one of those lanes ahead early in the game, there could be a pretty big snowball effect as one of them gets way too strong and is able to impact the map in a very big way.
Yeah, some nice trading on the side of Captain Zero LP, some trading back, potential 5 throwing that Q. Yeah, we'll have to see as this bot lane evolves, who ends up getting the lead. I would imagine we have the client freezing, unfortunately. That's the side nature of the current patch.
Yeah, Lyrac. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
No, you got it. You got it. Oh, Grief World
Yeah,
now jumping onto
honestly,
Allura, lands the knockup, and a nice trade coming out from him. Allura able to get some damage back, but yeah, well played by Grief World, even at level 2, as now they're jumping on the Tom Kench, but misses the empowered Q onto him, and not quite enough damage to finish off the kill there.
Yeah, as you were saying with the bot lane matchup, this Karma is really annoying, and Captain Zero P already forced to burn a pot. But eyes on Nore, looks like he
Rixie already coming towards the mid lane, flashes onto the Allura, but Allura with the charm coming out, able to get the kill onto Grifu World, so really well played from Allura there.
That is really well played. Yeah, he lands the charm, then 2 turret shots ends up falling, making Grifu World fall. And also, Grifu World actually burns both of his summoners for that play, Rixie flashing forward as well. So flashes down on both the mid-jungle duo on the side of Don't Want to Gloat. That's not what you want to see.
The Captain Zero LP jumping towards Interpede, but not quite able to land it. He is getting the autos off on potential 5, and the Q not coming out yet for the stun as the bot lane of Don't Want to Gloat trading very nicely in this lane.
Yeah, that wave was massive. They kept on playing and stayed inside the wave. They probably would have ended up falling to the Tom Kench. Yeah, we do have both junglers down towards the bot side. Nori is looking to for something here. Possibly trying to creep inside of one of these lane bushes to counter.
Yes, Lyrax gets caught out with the W from the Jhin, but Nori there to prevent the play, and now they're jumping onto potential 5, and it looks like he'll be going down. He's able to flash away, barely lives, as now we have Rixie coming down. Captain Zero LP lands the Q, able to finish off the kill, but Grifu World here as well. The TP coming in from Allura, but he might be a bit too late. Grifu World able to finish off Lyrax, and they're now turning on to Lore. Allura has arrived. Some big damage coming out from Grifu World and Rixie, and it looks like they'll be able to back off. And Grifu World continuing to push the play forward, lands the knock up onto Nore. Nore going down as well, and Allura a bit too far forward, and the Jhin gets a double kill. And nicely played by Don't Want to Gloat, turning that play around and getting several kills in that fight.
Yeah, we got a party in the bot lane. Well played on the side of Don't Want to Glow. It looks like they responded to the gank perfectly. It seemed as though Lyrax getting chunked down at the very start of the fight means he gets taken down very early. And it was easy targets. And Nore and Allura both, Allura not having the flash, get taken down by Grifu World, just jumping past them. But Interpede laying the finishing blow. Now up 2 kills in the bot lane. It's going to definitely impact the lane for sure.
Yeah, and I think we did see one of the weaknesses of the Ivern there was Grief World jumping onto Allura, but it looks like not much will happen here. But yeah, so the Ivern, very good at countering the engages of the other team, able to pop down that shield. But when Ivern uses the shield early, comes in for the aggressive play, he does leave himself quite vulnerable to a counter gank. And with Rixie and Grief World arriving just in time, they were able to turn that play around. Rixie now going on to Pressfelg in the top lane, and Nore arriving soon, but yeah, it looks like Pressfelg able to survive the play, pops the ult, the Q charged from Big Boy Tonio, zoning off Nore, and the snare lands, but I don't think they'll continue this play here.
Yeah, I think they may have potentially been able to go for that play, but I think Nore just runs right into. So unfortunately, the play is called off right there. Yeah, looks like not much will happen, but critically they do force Fresvelg's ult. Normally GP is very strong towards early game. Just when you hit 6, you become a very annoying champion where suddenly bot lane, you have to be more careful about these fights that you choose.
As the Q into the W coming out from Captain Zero LP, but he might be a bit too far forward, taking some poke back. Nicely played by Fresvelg to get damage off with the Infernum, and a good trade coming out for Habibi Hunters in the bot lane.
Yeah, it looks like the bot lane matchup is actually turning out a bit more rough. Captain Zero LP just soaking up all the damage despite Wing in. And then Lyrax, nice trading on there with the long-range weaponry.
Yeah, but Interpede starting to get very strong. Was able to pick up 2 kills early. Did go for the boots. Norre now arriving in the mid lane. Lands a knockup onto Norre and able to escape. So nicely played by Grief World to avoid that gank.
Yeah. Also important to know, Grief World, nice job going back into the game.
Rixie might be a bit too far forward here. The W coming out from the Tahm Kench. Lands the auto, probably will land the Q stun here. Allura there to follow up, and they're able to finish off the kill.
Yeah, well played there. I think Rixie is just looking to check if they were dragon. But unfortunately, both Grief World and bot lane stuck near the turret. Bot lane already basing. And we saw the potential, the pick potential. We have the Ahri ult coming in from a screen across, and Captain Zero LP with the W forward onto Rixie. It means that they secure the kill. Will also mean Dragon ends up being fallen at 10 minutes, going over to the side of Habibi Hunters.
Yeah, but with Allura rotating so much, Grief World is starting to build a little bit of a farm lead up in this lane, getting very strong on the Yasuo, and we'll look to him to make some of these big plays in the mid-game team fights.
Yeah, we saw some of that trading right there. Grief World just able to dash forward and then pop the wind wall, basically ignoring all of Ahri's damage.
Meanwhile, Fresvelg doing very well in the top lane, farming up nicely into the Scion and not facing too much up there. So yeah, he'll definitely start to become very strong going later into this game.
Yeah, we look back mid lane, every single time Grief World has that W up, just takes these advantage trades. And top lane.
Rixie now running into Norre, pops the ult but barely misses. Allura is forced to flash as Big Boy Tonio now trading hard onto Fresvelg. Luckily, Big Boy Tonio is missing the ult. Fresvelg is about to come up. Interpede pocketing the curtains call, but Captain Zero LP able to escape. Lyrax now getting gunned down, but the damage is just not quite there. The W might come out from Interpede. It looks like it's not up, so Lyrax able to survive in the bot lane, but they're getting quite low under the turret.
Oh, they're actually staying. They know Rixie's not down here, are confident in not being able to get dived. And we see Grief World still in the mid lane, so I think they just know that no one's coming down to go and dive them. But potentially, they go for a 2v2 dive right here. We'll have to see with the 4th shot.
Yeah, I mean, with the Gragas clearing out the Herald in the top side, it looks like they'll be content with getting that objective, and getting these favorable traits in the bot side, kind of discouraging Ivern from making a play on the other side of the map.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the sustain coming through, despite them taking down to 10% HP. Both the gray health and the red weapon, making them actually come back to half HP. So they're quite okay right now. See Norre come down in the bot side. He has all his top camps marked, but he's making sure this bot lane doesn't get dived. And yeah, I guess we'll see if he goes and secures to make sure they get the wave shoved in.
Yeah, Rixie here as well, so we might see a bit of a 3v3 here. Both bot lanes pretty low. I guess not Interpede, but the rest of them. And yeah, Ivern kind of forced to hang around here. Meanwhile, his top camps are just sitting up with the shrines already dropped on them. Ivern continuing to wait it out in this bush. Grief World now coming down.
Yeah, both junglers are just sitting in the area waiting for each. Pops up out of nowhere, then the other one will show up. But it's like, given the fact that both are just staying around, no one's actually willing to make the first move. You know, mid lane, Grief World trying to go for that, but the wind wall is a bit backwards. So
yep.
You'll have to back off from there.
Oh, Rixie with the ult comes into the ult from Grief World. Rixie now flashing in, but not able to land the body slam, and Allura trading back nicely. So well played by Allura again to avoid the gank, forcing out the favorable summoner trade as well.
Yeah, you saw what they were going to go for there, but actually...
Allura still has ult up. It did just wear off, and...
It just wore off,
Yeah. Oh, but Grief World now trading aggressively, able to land the kill through the exhaust, so a nice play from Grief World to turn that around.
Yeah, really well played from inside of Griefer. We're getting the solo kill onto Allura, well, quote
Oh, but
unquote
now
solo
Captain
kill.
Zero LP jumping onto Potential 5, who's getting very low. Interpede able to help him kite away, and it looks like Potential 5 will be getting out, but now the health lead in favor of Habibi Hunters in the spot lane, with Potential 5 going very low.
Yeah, I just want to tag back a bit to the Rixie gank. You kind of see what they're going for there, actually.
Yeah, Captain
Potential
Zero keep
fight.
still pushing forward. A nice Mantra W from Potential 5, able to heal him back up, and Interpede trading back nicely. Is still full health in the lane. I think this might be a bit too far, especially with Rixie coming in. Well, they might be able to finish off Potential 5 here, who flashes away and survives, but now Rixie coming in, the Tahm Kench ult does come out, but I think they'll both be going down.
Yeah, I guess that's the one way to solve the problem. If Tahm Kench eats your ADC, just eat the Tahm Kench. And then you...
Yep, and
yeah, they end up getting both kills on the bot lane. That's actually pretty critical considering that Rixie also has Herald. They probably actually just take this bot lane turret, and in the response, Allura is trying to make a play topside, but it's into the Scion, so I don't know if they can really get that much. Yeah, Griefer World continuing to press on mid lane, and really well played from the side of Don't Want to Gloat. They're actually up quite a lot in gold, almost 4K.
yeah, Interpede really stepping up when his team needs him here. Now 4-0-2 on the Jhin. Will probably be picking up his first item on base here. Yes, it will be the Storm Razor.
Yeah, Big Boy 20 up here as well, just holding down the fort, making sure nothing goes on. No plates actually taken from the side of GP, despite the CS lead. And Big Boy 20 is just comfortable stacking up that HP, making sure he's actually going to contribute towards these mid-game team fights. And honestly, with all that HP stacked up, it's going to be hard for some of these carries without their items to be able to take him down.
Oh, a nice charm coming out from Allura as they're now jumping onto Griefu World, but he's able to dash around and fit around the wind wall to escape, and the TP now coming out onto Daisy from Hresvelg. Allura dashing in again, lands the charm onto Rixie. Captain Zero LP hanging out in the bush, but with Griefu World so low, it might be hard for them to contest this dragon here. They're now jumping onto Hresvelg, but Rixie's the one who goes down as the Iron Shield once again coming through to save Hresvelg.
Yeah, there was a pretty big barrel landing right there, chunking down on multiple members. We see Hresvelg almost going for another triple barrel right there. But yeah, given the AoE damage, they do end up taking down Rixie. And they're actually looking to press forward for this turret, but I don't think they're going to get that much. A minute until turret platings fall, I imagine they probably just go for this dragon right here.
Yeah, Rixie has respawned and is running back. It looks like they might be looking to try to contest, but no, Big Boy Tonio is back as well, and I think they'd be a bit foolish to continue going on in this play.
Alright, we see Rixie actually still going for it. They make only 2 people on dragon right now.
Rixie a bit
Rixie
far forward,
getting
getting hit by
again.
the knockup, and yeah, I think he'll be down again. A bit of an overstep from Rixie, but Hresvelg and Nori are very low, so they might. No, they're just gonna back off. So yeah, I don't know what Rixie was going for there. A bit too far forward on that play.
Yeah, I think with a lot of members not showing, he just been an Iron in the Drake, considering there's 2 people mid lane as well. But unexpected to him, he instantly just gets Iron Tahm Kench W from the bush, and so he ends up falling in the same spot. Yeah, the game is still not over for the side Don't Want to Gloat. They are still up in gold, up by around 3K. So we'll have to see what they do with this. I'm curious what they go for here, considering the Herald. The second Herald is about to spawn. Lane assignments, we see the Scion staking with the GP. We see both bot laners trying to go towards the mid lane. And then we have Griefer World split pushing in the side lane. Probably going to be matching the Ahri down there.
Yeah, and Big Boy Tonio still going pretty even up here with Hresvelg, so good on him to hold up and continue to stack up that health. Interpede now here as well, so it looks like they will be putting Prio on the Herald. Well, with Ahri still in the bot lane, does have the TP coming up, so we might see a 5v5 play here soon.
Yeah, actually, I don't really like this. They kind of wasted their tempo moving up top lane. We see Habibi Hunters actually get priority on the mid wave, so they actually being able to decide what they want to do from here. But Griefu World now showing up mid lane. It looks like they do want to secure this Herald right here. Allura is probably just going to go split push bot lane. They're going to probably trade this Herald for the turret. But actually, Habibi Hunters are stepping forward.
Yeah.
They still want this fight. I don't know if they want it, though.
Yeah, Griefu World going forward onto Daisy. A nice knockback coming from the Gragas lands onto Nore, and the Ivern goes down immediately before the TP can even come through. Griefu World might be a bit too far forward, though, as he'll get killed by Lyrax. Big Boy Tonio going for the knockup, and the flash auto from Interpede able to finish off the kill onto Captain Zero LP. So the Herald going down 4 Don't Want to Gloat and a 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, unfortunately, Griefer World, I think he sort of fubbed the Yasuo EQ flash. He ends up just flying forward with the base tornado instead. He ends up get taken down from there. But yeah, it's one of those things where Allura just probably has to be there in the fight if they're going to contest early. An RE TPing late into the fight doesn't really work out unless you're already winning the fight. So I think it would have just been better just to trade for the turret, but they end up contesting anyways. 1 for 2 is still not bad considering they do outscale potentially with the GP barrels.
Yeah,
We'll have
Habibi
to see as the
Hunters.
game goes on.
Yeah, Habibi Hunters definitely drafting a team here that kind of needs the Ari to be the one looking for those early picks with the charm, and without her early to the fight, they're not able to do much as Nori just gets picked out, and they're able to easily win the fight and get the Herald. So very well played by Don't Want to Gloat, and we'll see if they can continue to carry this forward with their now super fed Jhin.
Yeah, dragon spawning in 2 minutes. We have the cloud coming up. Not too great for the side of Don't Want to Gloat if they do end up securing that. But Heavy Hunter's definitely looking for their soul. They're already at 2 dragons already, so if they get the 3rd, the pressures Don't Want to Gloat contesting with the 4th one. We'll have to see how that turns out. Right now, both teams just trying to push in the side lanes and walk towards mid. We see Griefer World every single time he pushes out that bot lane. He's walking mid, maybe with a Rixie, with the hope that Rixie goes for that casket. But right now, he's just clearing the vision.
Yeah, Interpede and Griefer World got quite far ahead in gold compared to their respective laners. So we'll see if they can really be the ones to step up and carry this fight around the upcoming dragon. And with Big Boy Tonio TPing towards the top side, he will have to find a way to get a reset in before this upcoming dragon.
Yeah, a minute left. Usually teams start basing around this time, but right now all teams are sticking around. Resville going for something a bit cheeky with the barrel in the bush, but it doesn't do too much damage to Big Boy Tonio.
Yeah,
he shrugs it off.
Yeah, continue to trade, but the damage is just not there. A nice knockup onto Allura as it looks like Yasuo has popped the ult, and Allura also popping the ult to get away, but yeah, well played by Griefer World to get the better end of that exchange.
Yeah, this is one of the advantages of the Yasuo, and despite Ahri being this kind of elusive, like high pick potential champion, in the side lane, the Yasuo definitely has the advantage, being able to dash on her with the wind wall, kind of extending what we saw in laning phase. But mid lane being TP to, I imagine both teams want to contest this dragon.
Yeah, but what's worth noting is that Griefer World's ult almost coming back up, and Allura will not have the ult for this upcoming dragon, so that could be the opportunity that Don't Want to Gloat need to get way ahead in this game. They're now jumping on to Interpede, but Captain Zero LP might be a bit too far forward. Does take a bit of damage, and the Hresvelg is popping the ult early into the fight, so yeah, not a great start for Habibi Hunters.
Yeah, 3 ults down now, Daisy also being taken down, so I imagine that's probably their
nice barrel combo from Hresvelg, sort of saving the fight here. Nori now stepping forward, lands the root onto potential 5. The charm comes out but does not land, and they'll continue to dance around this objective, but the health bar is quite a bit lower for Don't Want to Gloat after a nice play from Hresvelg there.
Yeah, right now they're just fighting for mid prio right here. Both teams just want to wait for their ults to come back up. Looks like the Ahri ult is back up. I can't imagine either Daisy or the GP ult are going to be back in time, unless this fight waits another 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, a nice barrel coming out, but the Num 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 coming out from Tom Kench, able to help Allura escape. Griefer World dashing very far forward, lands the knockup onto Hresvelg, but he'll just go down. And it looks like Big Boy Tonio not long for this world either. The curtains call coming out, but the health bar is a bit too high for them to get any kills in return.
Yeah, as we saw, that Nom 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 ended up saving the... that's kind of the interaction right there. The Rixie, once he pops the barrel, as long as Captain Zero LP is right next to Lyra, not much can actually be done. They have to wait for Captain Zero LP to be split apart by Lyrax, either from a flash Gragas stun, or from Big Boy Tonio just kind of separating them inside of a team fight. So really well played for the side of Habibi Hunters, but Rixie is kind of looking for...
Yeah, a nice W comes out from Interpede, denying the W to get away, but Captain Zero LP able to make it to the Blast Cone and able to survive there. As now Allura going forward, not quite with the ult yet, so I don't think that they'll be able to quite get onto Interpede here.
Yeah, don't want to glow. They end up trading for the mid lane turret, so they do get something in return. Yeah, but that will be the third dragon being taken over by the side of Habibi Hunters. They're now on Soul Point, and with that, what's it called? The Cloud Soul, they do end up finding a lot of use with it, especially with the Aphelios. If you can get that kiting, it's really important inside of team fights.
Yeah, I think the side of Don't Want to Gloat is going to have to start playing a little bit better around their super fed Jhin here. They're going pretty all out for these dives with the Yasuo Gragas, but that might not be what they need right now, especially with the defensive tools of Habibi Hunters. I think they need to start playing more around their Jhin and look for those front-to-back fights where Jhin is able to get a lot of his damage off.
Yeah, I kind of want to see them set up to the objectives first as well.
Oh, Harassbug not getting jumped on, but I don't think Antonio has anywhere near enough damage to get that kill.
Yeah, we saw last time Habibi Hunters actually just reset earlier than the side of Don't Want to Gloat. So that opportunity gave Fresville the ability to walk inside the bush, stack up that barrel, and then you saw that huge AoE. Basically completely dissuade the side of Don't Want to Gloat from walking forward at all. Otherwise, they would have contested that dragon, considering the fact that Allura burned the ult, Nori also burning the ult, and Fresville using the ult as well. I think it should have been a pretty clean fight, but they decided to be a bit more decisive inside of the positioning.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like there might be another exchange here in the mid lane as Rixie jumping onto Captain Zero LP lands the barrel, and that's enough for Griefer World to claim the kill. So Captain Zero LP standing a bit too far forward here, and that they're now positioning around the Baron. Oh, as it looks like they might be coming back in towards the mid lane. Nori a bit far forward, forced to flash away, but the flash in from Jhin and the W able to catch out Nori, and that's a second kill. Oh, the flash in from Big Boy Tonio, but he's a bit disconnected from his team as it looks like they're ready to head towards the Baron.
Yeah, Rixie's popping off right here with the flash plays. He actually has a flash of his own. He didn't even have to use it. He just had the mantra speed with Mikhail's. And they're actually turning on the Baron right now. 3v5 right here. We'll have to see what they do.
Captain Zero LP has respawned, but it'll be a while before he can get back here, and they might be able to burst the dragon or the Baron out before that. Rixie now flashing onto Fressfeld, but not quite enough damage to finish off the kill. The ult missing from Lyrax, or rather just only hitting one member. Interpede a bit far forward with the ult though, but that baits Allura in, and he'll go low. Captain Zero LP jumping in, able to save Allura with the Devour. Very well played by him, as now Interpede very low, and sniping the members a little bit more. A nice charm coming out from the Ahri, but Grief World able to finish off the kill on the other side of the fight. Big Boy Tonio chasing down Captain Zero LP, but he'll die out very quickly. Oh, Lyrax able to land the last bit of his damage, and with Nori arriving, they're able to secure the last two kills, and it will be Habibi Hunters now turning towards this Baron.
Yeah, it's a disaster. You can kind of see what they're going for there. They're worried about the gangplank.
Oh, as they also might be able to kill out Griefu World here. The Windwall able to stall for a little bit, but Griefu World, yeah, looks like he might even die to the minions as... Oh, he's still alive. Captain Zero, if he turning around, needs to force him to walk into the turret. At least he gets the execute, but losing the Baron is not what you want here if you don't want to gloat.
Yeah, it's actually super smart though. They ended up stalling the death timer. You see the rest of Don't Want to Gloat end up respawning, but Griefu World still 30 seconds down. That gives Habibi Hunters a bit more time to kind of decide what lanes they want. But yeah, you kind of saw what Don't Want to Gloat were going for there. They were worried about the GP barrels comboing inside when they're all into the Baron pit. But I really think they should have just stuck onto it and then have either group zoning with the wind wall to make sure the Ahri can't go forward and trying to just take down the GP. I think it just had to be someone have to like sacrifice just for the play, because they were taking it down quite quickly, and with a 4-shot, you can definitely get the Baron quite easily.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they, once again, Rixie going a little bit too far forward, getting baited in by the Gangplank, because they did have all the support they needed to get him out, and Allura almost going down there as well, but able to use the Zanyas before he goes down, and then the ult from Captain Zero LP stalling out the fight quite a lot.
Jeez, that damage. Yeah, we still see Interpede quite strong.
Yeah, Captain Zero LP once again a little bit far forward, fails the flash and the W, and yeah, he'll just go down. Now the nice knockup from Big Boy Tonio onto 2 allows Griefu World to claim a kill, and just like that, Don't Want to Gloat right back into this game and looking to prevent this soul from happening. Big Boy Tonio going quite low, but the damage isn't there to finish him off, and A 3 for 0 so far, or excuse me, a 2 for 0 so far on the fight. Looks like Habibi Hunters still won it. Oh, Rixie whiffs the barrel, but Griefer World doing the work on his own. No, he'll go down very quickly to Lyrax, and Interpede trading some damage back. Lyrax using the ult, able to get the crit into the kill onto the Gragas.
Jungler's down.
And both junglers down. I still would favor... Oh, but no, Lyrax able to secure the soul for them, and despite the fight looking good early for the side of Don't Wanna Gloat, Habibi Hunters once again coming out on top here.
Yeah, they kited that so well. 3v5. Griefer World tries to jump onto their backline, but however, you can't win while Gangplank auto attacks that are critting him. And he ends up basically getting two-shot by the Gangplank. But yeah, really nice spacing. Lyrax going back and forth with the auto attacks. Basically getting those auto attacks when they're available on the front, but making sure you can't get caught out by either the Gragas E or the Jhin W. So really well played. Nice positioning as well.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, with the soul going down, the Cloud Soul could be very good on a lot of these champs, like the Captain Zero LP able to eat up a member and run away very quickly. You know, Hresvelg not complaining about the move speed when he pops his ult. Nore able to run down people with Daisy, and Allura obviously doing very well when he can dash forward and gain the movement speed boost. So very good soul for the side of Habibi Hunters, and it's going to be very hard for Don't Wanna Gloat to find the looks that they're looking for in these fights.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about considering you have a 9-1 Jhin. This guy is insanely strong, but unfortunately he's not able to actually walk. Not even taking damage from him.
Yeah, Captain Zero LP stacking up that armor and getting pretty tanky here. We do have the TP coming out from the Scion to flank the team. Maybe this is the engage they need. They're able to finish Nore. A nice knock-up into the ult from Griefer World, but Griefer World getting very low as Allura now charging forward. Big Boy Tonio in the middle of the team, but he's alone. The knock-up landing onto Interpede from the Tahm Kench does land the Flash Gale Force auto to finish off Hresvelg. Oh, they might be going a little bit too far forward. Jhin dealing quite a lot of damage here. Big Boy Tonio with some nice knockups, but the damage from the Aphelios is just too much as he's able to finish off the kill on the Big Boy Tonio, and Interpede can't do much.
Yeah, that's the one downside of Jhin. You saw him opening the fight with his ultimate, but unfortunately he's not able to DPS the same way as a champion like. So when it comes to these team fights, basically he has to try to chunk down one person by themselves. And we saw once again Captain Zero LP with the ultimate responding to the Rixie casket. Griefer World is having a hard time trying to land onto the backside with that ultimate available. Yeah, the Gale Force only doing 546 damage. I'll have to see what both teams do next. Considering the fact that Habibi Hunters has been winning the team fights, we have Baron coming up soon. So eyes on both teams to try to pressure into the top side, get vision down. And we see Captain Zero LP doing that already. Trying to drop some vision towards the Raptors. Potential 5 also here to respond to that, however.
Yeah, and despite this Jhin getting very fed early, the Aphelios has basically caught up, and you know, at this point in the game, definitely the better hyper carry, and it's going to be very hard for Don't Wanna Gloat to find some of those looks they were finding earlier game. It's basically all up to Griefer World to set up and win these fights. He does have the support of the ult from Rixie, but I think it's going to need to be a miracle from this Yasuo if they're going to want to find a way back into this game.
Yeah, I agree.
They jump onto the potential 5, and he'll just go right down. A nice play by Allura to secure that kill with the Everfrost. And now with a nice barrel coming out, but it won't have much follow-up. And Allura now dashing forward, lands the charm onto Interpede. The root landed, but the follow-up isn't quite there. A nice knock-up from Captain Zero LP into the Q from Hresvelg, landing the crit and finishing off Interpede. And without their ADC, I don't know what they're going to be able to do to hold onto the space.
Yeah,
it's the crits from the Infernum through the turret. Very nice from Lyrax, able to finish off Griefer World. And that might just be them trying to end the game.
Yeah, I think that's easily game. The crit just ends up one-shotting Griefer World, and there are 4 people to, or 5 people to none. 5 people to 3, sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, Nexus Turret now is trying to fall. It's only the base wave, however. There's no Baroned up minions. So it's going to be a bit hard. They have Daisy tanking it up, but Daisy's just shouted away from the turret. we'll have to see. Big Boy Tony is actually pretty tanky. He might be able to sustain some of the damage here to stall for his team. Interpede now back up as well. I'll see what they would do. Yeah, every
Oh,
single
as the
time,
ult coming out
actually.
from Big Boy Tonio lands the knockup onto Captain Zero LP, but Interpede going down very low, and the crit once again from Fresfelg, able to finish off the kill. Nore almost going down, but it just won't be enough as Lyrax dealing a lot of damage and just carrying the fight here once again.
Yeah, the spacing on the side of Habibi Hunters makes it possible for anyone on the side who don't want to glow to walk up. The barrels, the Aphelios auto attacks, the charms, it's just too difficult. And Daisy obviously just acting as that character in between.
When the flash charm coming out, getting that extra kill on the potential 5, and that will be the game going to Habibi Hunters, who, after losing the last game, are now up, I believe, 4-1 or 3-1, something like that, in the tournament. So doing very well, and we'll be looking to see if Habibi Hunters can continue marching forward to get one of those high seeds in the bracket stage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I believe they are indeed 3-1. So well played to them. But yeah, it was a really close game early on. We actually low, pressuring them a lot with the Gragas Yasuo combo. Also being up 4K. But yeah, it was just the superior team fighting towards the mid game and towards the late game. They were able to pull out these insane wins, and the comp with the Tom Kench making sure to deny the Gragas Yasuo combo. I think they played very well as a team.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, who do you think you'd give the MVP on this one?
Oh, shoot, that's a really tough choice. I want to say Fresvelg, honestly. Although the bot lane on the side of Don't Wanna Gloat also played exceptionally well. The reason Fresvelg, I think he played a solid laning phase, but also when it came towards that kind of comeback moment when Don't Wanna Gloat was 4K up, he ended up getting that triple or that barrel towards the mid lane in that bush, basically denying them the dragon and denying them the ability to press on their lead. And then obviously towards the late game, we saw that one shot onto Grifu World as well as that one shot onto Interpede, basically securing the win for them on the final push there. So I
Yeah,
think well played towards Resvelg.
yeah, I think I would have to agree on that one. He definitely popped off in this game, but I think we do need to give shoutouts to Allura and Lyrax. Allura landing a lot of crucial charms in these team fights, able to get some picks early and win some of these fights for his team. And Lyrax, the DPS that his team needed time and time again, able to finish off a lot of the kills that his team was setting up. So I think very well played to all of these members. And the Ivern and Tom Kench, maybe not as noticeable, but still, using their supportive and defensive tools effectively to help support their carries.
Yeah, definitely one of the closest matches we've had so far. It seems to be a recurring pattern with the Ivern being victorious no matter what.
Yep. And I believe we do have Captain Zero LP coming in for the interview.
Oh, let's go, let's go.
Hello, Captain Zero LP.
What? I'm getting interviewed?
Apparently, according to Max, you're getting interviewed.
You are snaking me again.
All right, what are your thoughts on the win? Was it as smooth as you thought it was going to go?
Yeah, that was actually my best performance so far of the tournament, honestly.
Yeah, I think 0 deaths on that game for you, if I believe, and I think very very crucial ults in some of the team fights. I saw the one on Pressfelg late into that game, really saving him under the
that was
Tedex's
very
turrets.
crucial. I saved him from a wrist injury right there. It was very crucial.
Yeah,
let's talk about the game state a tiny bit though. Towards the early game, it was a bit rough. It looked like Don't Want to Gloat did end up getting a 4K gold lead off those early game team fights. So what was kind of the team mentality? What was the ways you got back into the game?
Honestly, I don't really remember. I was kind of just, doing what needed to be done. Pressing alt when people when they tried to do their like Gragas Yasuo combos. And if they didn't use it on someone else, they'd use it on me, which kind of freed up my team. So, yeah.
Who do you think on your team deserved the MVP for this one?
I think honestly, top or bot, because my baller, he had an amazing support to play with that entire game. And then our top laner was apparently just farming free money off the Scion. And then he popped off in the team fights later.
Yeah, so speaking of Resvalg, coming into the tournament, he was listed as unranked, and he's had to go up against some of the top laners in the tournament, game in and game out. How do you think he's been doing to match them?
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing pretty good for the most part. I think his unranked rank is very misleading for people who don't know him because he is a pretty good player, probably at least D4, D3 level, if not better.
Yeah. And your team has definitely scrimmed a lot going into preparation for this, your debut team. And you had a strong start at 3-1, so congratulations to you. But are there any teams you're looking forward to either rematch or play against any of the upcoming teams inside the round robin stage? Or are you dying to kill, or not kill, what am I saying? Dying to face off against one of those teams in the bracket stage?
I am dying to kill Habibi as many times as possible in our next match.
All right, great.
All right, well,
Yeah.
we'll look forward to it. Yeah, thank you for coming
He
in
will
for
have
the interview.
double-digit deaths in his next game.
All right, we'll just have to see. So, yeah, good luck and thank you for
This
joining
is what
us.
our team was formed to do. We drafted these players specifically for this. It's in our team name.
Yeah, you are the Habibi hunters after all. Is it both the Habibis or just the one Habibi?
It is the one Habibi.
The one Habibi. Okay. All right, let's see it happen. I guess we'll see that. I believe tomorrow.
Yeah, that is. We've been scrimming for this one moment, solely for this purpose. That is our only goal for this. It does not matter if we win any of our other games. We are the Habibi Hunters. That's all that matters.
All right, sounds good. Looks like we'll be wrapping up the interview. Thank you, though. Congratulations on your win, and hopefully for the best for the future games.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll be our day here coming to a close. We had four, some stomps, but also ending with a pretty exciting match. So, pretty good day overall for the tournament. And we saw the Habibi Hunters really stepping up with 3 games today, becoming one of the best teams in the tournament. So we'll have to see how well they do moving forward.
Yeah. Please ban Ivern. Please ban Ivern. Okay. In all seriousness, though, thank you everyone for joining in for the cast. Also, as well, obvious or obligatory shout out. We are still requesting some donations from everyone. We do want the prize pool to be notable and important to everyone, so please donate and hope for the best.
Yep. Thank you for joining us today. I've been FaZe, and this is Derive, and we'll see you for the next one.